The flipped classroom is an idea that the students are taking the education outside of the four walls of the school.
Take the traditional classroom environment and reverse it.
It's the idea of taking the direct instruction, the teacher piece of the classroom, and taking it out of the classroom and putting that piece into the students' hands to manage them their own way in their own time.
So instead of students doing homework at home and then they come in and do the lecture part in class.
If they watch this, take their notes on these things before coming into the class, then there's practice time. When the student comes in, then that very vital class time can be used with the teacher actually helping the students conquer and master the concepts.
Have access to lecture material or any topic that's being covered in class prior to getting to class, so they've had time to review it and try and get their own idea or concept of understanding, and then bring it to the classroom where the teacher can reiterate, reinforce, and then take it a step further into more in-depth learning for the student.
And if I can take that direct instruction, if I can take that piece where it's just me talking and deliver it to them somewhere in their digital world, I've just bought myself 15, 20 extra minutes of class time to reach, to communicate, to have more of the back and forth dialogue and problem solve and debate and those sort of higher level things.
The students are more engaged. They already have a basic understanding of what's going on before they even walk in the door. And so in a difficult course, and I would definitely recommend this for AP courses when the material gets really, really in depth, this kind of breaks the ice, so when they get into class they can actually really focus on the harder concepts, so the students have a better chance of success in the course.
I'm a history teacher, so covering a lot of material in a short amount of time is our biggest challenge. And what I've tried to do so far is taken some material that I just didn't have time to cover in the classroom, put it out there in a lecture format, and put it online so the students could watch the PowerPoints or watch videos on their own.
YouTube, and then I also put it on this site called Sephoria, but I linked it to Edmodo, so then they know at any time that they had an assignment that it'll just pop up, because a lot of the kids on Edmodo, they send it straight to their phone.
3 different opportunities for them to access instructional videos. They can do it through Edmodo, which is definitely our first platform. The videos can be found on My Teacher webpage, and then also they're housed on the student computer in my classroom.
Right now I use Edmodo. I'm a big advocate for Edmodo, and I use video lectures as a concept for the flipped classroom. So all of my lectures, my PowerPoint lectures, are available to the students already, as well as their homework. However, I personally record my lecture. You can see the PowerPoint with my voiceover explaining the PowerPoint, and I record that in a Windows Media format and a QuickTime format to have access to both Mac and PC users, and I upload that into Edmodo, so the students have access to that, so they can watch it 24/7.
And so they basically just go in, they watch the video lecture. It's no more than 10 minutes. I usually try to keep it between 7 and 8 minutes. And then they have to fill out a Google Doc form. And so I know exactly who have watched the video and who hasn't watched the video. A lot of kids that I noticed, they actually prefer to watch it on their smartphones.
A lot of them are actually using their phones to get this.
Do it on their phones.
Most of my kids are using their cell phones, honestly, to access Edmodo and to access the videos.
They have computers at home, but the concept of sitting down at the home computer to do work seems sort of novel to them.
And in fact, a couple weeks ago we had an exam, and my band kids on the way to the football game had their phones out on the bus watching those videos for the test that we were having the next day.
A lot of kids have told me that they actually prefer the flip model because they said, "Miss, I understand you better."
The student engagement has gone up, and in fact my grades have gone up. My pass rate has gone through the roof.
But those that did it saw that the class was much easier for them coming in, and they were able to get through that assignment very quickly having watched that video first?
It helps because at home we're just learning information. Information is usually pretty easy to comprehend. We're just watching PowerPoints, learning key terms. But when we apply it during the classroom, it's easier to understand it, and because we've had time to rehearse it on our own, and that's when we're putting it to practice and we have help.
For me, mainly, it was the fact of being able to text message my kids at night through the program to remind them that their homework was due the next day or their test was the next day. They would get off their PS3 or their Xbox 360 and actually study or get their homework done.
Well, say if we don't understand it, then he posts like the PowerPoints or like the discussion we were going through. And so if we don't understand it, we're able to go through those PowerPoints and see what we don't understand. Also, we can try to post like a question on Edmodo, and he could be there to answer it.
Because they're plugged in out there and they're unplugged in here, and I see that as a real problem.
If you try to incorporate technology into whatever subject you're teaching, then the kids will be more engaged, the kids will be more likely to do their work, and then turns out then the kids will actually be more successful in whatever subject that you're teaching.
As the years go on, we increase the amount of knowledge that the kids are required to have. Part of that, we've got to integrate the technology to go along with it. It's just in that day and age, and we have to step up to the plate.